Hi friends, welcome to my channel Yaya's Heart Tarot. Today I'll be doing 3 readings to connect with departed loved ones. You'll be able to choose which group or multiple groups if you'd like that resonates with you to connect with a departed loved one. I'll go ahead and show you what the groups are, and then I'm going to go through some impressions that I received in meditation. These impressions, I believe, are to help you identify who might be coming through to give you a message today. If one of these impressions resonates with you and does give you an indication of who might be coming through, that's great. But if you don't connect with any of these impressions, that's also fine, because the cards themselves will help to identify who's coming through as well. So first, let's go through the groups. Group number 1, and I'll go over them again before we get started. But group number 1 is Smoky Amethyst cluster. This is a Smoky Amethyst cluster and a crow. The card that goes with that is crow. So Smoky Amethyst cluster and a crow, or perhaps a raven. That's group 1. Group 2 is Azurite and Malachite. And the card is a blue hummingbird. So that's group 2, Azurite and Malachite, and a blue hummingbird. Group 3 is Dogtooth Calcite cluster. And a black and red spider. That's group 3, the Dogtooth Calcite and spider. So the impressions that I received during meditation, the first vision that I saw was a little girl who was perhaps 5 or 6 years old. She was wearing a dress. I feel like she had maybe Mary Jane shoes on, maybe even black patent leather, very dressed up, but sort of in an old style. And she was sitting at a small table in an old restaurant. It was a restaurant that had white tablecloths on the table. It had a feel that at one time it was very elegant, fancy, but that now it was run down and perhaps soon to close. Had the feel of a family-owned ethnic restaurant, perhaps Italian, perhaps some Slavic. And this little girl was sitting at this table with a very older man who appeared to be her grandfather, or perhaps a great-grandfather, and he also was dressed up. His suit appeared to be worn, possibly an old suit, but that again had been elegant in its day, but was now just sort of tired and worn. They were sitting at the table together. There was no food on the table yet, and I got a strong feeling of sadness, that there was a strong connection between these two, but they didn't get to spend time together very often. And there was just a very, very strong feeling of loneliness, that they missed being able to spend time with one another. So the next vision that I saw, and I'm not sure how to really interpret this one, but there was a snake. It was sort of a yellowish, greenish, kind of a chartreuse color. Not a very large snake, but not tiny either. And it crawled up, or slithered up, into a bird bath. The bird bath had a little bit of water in it, not a lot, but it also had some leaves that had fallen into the water that had not been cleared out. There may have been some moss or just something growing in the bird bath. It looked like it hadn't been cleaned in a long time. And the snake slid into the bird bath, and that was all that I saw. So, not sure what to make of that. That may be actually something that you shared seeing with an individual who's passed on. It could be symbolic. It could be symbolic of someone who had exotic pets that you were close to who's passed on, someone who had snakes or birds. So the next vision that I saw was what appeared to be actual sized whale rib bones sticking up out of the sand on a beach. But they weren't actual bones. I had the impression that it was like a play area for kids on the beach that had been constructed to look like a whale, so it was kind of a climbing apparatus, like a jungle gym kind of a thing, but it looked like big whale bones sticking up out of the ground. I had the feeling that this was near a peninsula in the ocean, and that it was probably somewhere along the northeast coast of the United States or possibly Canada, somewhere up in that area. Someplace I had the impression that while it was warm now, they had cold winters. If you spent some time with a loved one who lived in that area, or perhaps went to vacation together in an area like that, especially if there is a play area that has that whale themed play area. I saw an older, looked like European car, the name just escaped me now, but an old sedan that would have been like a Peugeot or a Renault, that was parked on a street, a dusty street, in front of a whitish stucco building, which was probably a home, but it was very close to other homes. It had sort of a European or perhaps Moroccan feel to the area. It was hot, it was dry, it was kind of a desert climate, but it was within this, it was like a town. I got the impression that this may have been a seaside town. Although I was facing the stucco building where this car was parked in front of it, I had the impression that behind me and across a ways there may have been a beach or a seafront there. And that was about all that I saw in that one. So I don't know if some of you have perhaps relatives who come from that area, that type of an area, or have vacationed in that type of an area, perhaps had a loved one who lived in a stucco home in a village, a town. It could have been Italian, it could have been, it had a very definite Moroccan feel, so it may have been like in Spain, perhaps. The buildings were close together and high, and they were all stucco. And by high, I mean probably 2 or 3 stories at most, but they were close together, and the streets were small. The streets were narrow in between, so it made it feel as though they were tall. And then I saw a man who was not wearing a shirt, was climbing. He had a ladder propped up against the side of a building, and again, it almost looked like kind of a stucco building. It was a flat-topped building. It was almost like a wall with a rounded edge at the top, and then it was flat on the top of that, or at least it looked flat from where I could see. And he was climbing onto the top of this, but his ladder was not quite long enough. So he could climb to the top of the ladder, but where he needed to get on top of was about here. So he was going to have to sort of hoist himself up to get on top of this. And he said, "I'm going to need a minute." So I don't know if he was going up there to get something. I just now had a flash of like a frisbee being thrown up there or a ball, and he was going up to get it, or perhaps a kite, some child's toy that may have gotten on top of the roof that he was going there to rescue. But he didn't really have a tall enough ladder, so he was kind of apprehensive about jumping onto this roof to retrieve whatever it was he was going up there for. It was hot and dry, also in this locale. Then I had a pain in the base of my thumb, and I got a view of a highway stretching across like a desert type area with some outcroppings of stone, of like not really mountains per se, but just some stones that came up, making like a there's a name for it, and I can't think of it. All I can think of is a tableau or a tablet, but that's not it. But you know, like just a stone outcropping. And the sand was reddish. There was what looked to be perhaps sagebrush, possibly occasional cactuses, so I got the impression that it was kind of in the southwest. These stone outcroppings, the stone was orangish colored. So I had the distinct impression that someone had left home and was hitchhiking throughout the southwest, most likely in the U.S., so that could be an indication of who this might be. I also I had the vision of an American flag that sort of swooped past my vision, and it was either very close or very large. And then I saw some white chairs, or they may have been like folding chairs that had a white cover over them, that were arranged in kind of a semicircle, and there were a lot of people sitting behind them, and they were sitting in these chairs facing the other direction. It was outdoors. There was on kind of a grassy hill, and I got the impression that there were more flags. So it may have been a ceremony to honor perhaps the fallen soldiers, fallen military individuals. So this might be an indication that if you have a loved one who was in the military and who was lost while they were in the service, this could be who's coming through for you. So those were the impressions that I had. So again, take your time and choose whichever group that you feel called to. Group number 1 is the Smoky Amethyst with the crow or raven. Group number 2 is the Azurite and Malachite with the blue Hummingbird. And group number 3 is the Dogtooth Calcite with the spider. So take your time, choose your group. There will be timestamps in the description, so you can drop to your chosen group, click on the timestamp, and it will take you directly to your group. And I will see you there. Hi, Group 1. This is your group, the Smoky Amethyst and the Crow or Raven card. The first message that we are going to get today is who is coming through for you today. Who is coming through for Group 1, Spirit? Who is coming through for Group 1? Okay, Group 1. Who is coming through for you today? Okay, Group 1, we got the Fool, we got the Ten of Cups. We got the Knight of Cups, the Queen of Pentacles, and the Five of Cups. This is an individual who was very adventurous. They were always willing to dive in to anything. They were always ready for an adventure. They were always your ride or die, your wingman, and they never regretted taking an opportunity. They tried to never pass up an opportunity that presented itself to them. They were joyful all the time. This is an individual who loved life, really loved life, and loved adventures. And they never regretted a minute of anything that they did. So that's who's coming through for you. I'm also getting a very feminine vibe. So this was most likely a woman, but not necessarily. So Spirit, how was Group 1 connected to this individual? Group 1, how were you connected to this individual? What was your connection to them? Okay. We got the Nine of Cups, the Ace of Swords, the Knight of Pentacles reversed, and the Ace of Cups reversed. So this person was very nurturing of you. And I'm not sure how to say this, but you perhaps didn't appreciate it as much as you wished that you had. They were very supportive of everything that you wanted to do. They were very loving. They were very kind to you. They were very encouraging to you. But you may have dismissed them sometimes. Kind of a teenaged angst kind of a thing, I feel like. I'm feeling very much that you were very much like this individual. You were very much like this individual. You always were up for an adventure. You were always wanting to go all the time. But you may have had a little bit of a dismissive attitude toward this individual because they may have been considerably older than you, and so you kind of had that teenage, you don't know what you're talking about, you're a grown-up, how could you possibly understand me, kind of a relationship with them. They stuck by you nonetheless, but you probably didn't appreciate them when they were here as much as you do now. And you wish that you had them back to give you the encouragement that they did when you were younger, that you kind of regret that you didn't appreciate back then. And you also realized that at the time you didn't realize that they had taken some of the same or similar adventures that you wanted to take when you were young and excited about life, and you didn't really think that they had much to contribute. And it may not have been that you were dismissive to them, but that you were just on your way. You were always on the move, and you had things to do. And so you didn't slow down long enough maybe to stop and talk with them and hear their stories. They may have tried to tell you about similar adventures that they had had when they were younger, and you didn't really take the time to listen, perhaps. And I feel like there's some regret about that now, that you didn't slow down and listen to what they had to say, because you realize now that they had a wealth of knowledge. I feel as though this was perhaps a grandparent to you, or maybe even a great-grandparent. This may be the vision of the little 6-year-old girl and the grandfather or the great-grandfather. Although, again, I feel more of a motherly vibe for this, but it doesn't necessarily have to be a mother. But that was this is kind of the relationship that I see between the two of you, that they were very supportive, but that they were much older than you, and so another generation, and you didn't slow down enough to talk to them, and you wish now that you had, because you don't have the opportunity to do that anymore. So what was most important to them about this connection? Spirit, what was most important to you about this connection with Group 1? Group 1, what was most important? And this could go either way. This could be what was most important to your loved one who passed, and this could be what was most important to you as well. Okay, so we got the 8 of Cups, we got the 4 of Swords reversed, and we got the Kurandara sorry, I can't even pronounce this. It is I believe actually the King of Wands, or the Queen of Wands, but in this deck it is the Healer. Sorry, the Healer of Wands. And we've got the 4 of Swords, which is the card of healing, but it's reversed. We've got the 8 of Cups, which is a card of leaving behind something emotional, perhaps. The open window here, I'm being drawn to this open window. What was most important to them with regard to this relationship was that you got to do what you needed to do in your life, that you got to have your adventures, even if it didn't include them, even if you didn't connect with them as much as they had hoped that you would. They are happy and grateful that you got to have the adventures that you did. And they're grateful that they were a part of your life, regardless of what that meant. They were just grateful to be a part of your life. Very much so. This is a beautiful healing card here. Beautiful. Look at those hands. Those are the hands of a beautiful grandmother. So the love that they received from you, even though you were off on your adventures, but even being able to hear, I feel as though when you came back from your adventures, you were excited and you loved to tell this perhaps grandmother about your adventures. You may not have listened up front, but you loved to come back and tell her all about your adventures. And that was very heartwarming for her. So that was a very, very important part of her life. And I feel like it was an important part of your life as well, that you had this wonderful, wonderful grandmother, or whoever this person was, who listened to your stories, and you got to express your excitement and recount your adventures to this individual, and they really, really loved and appreciated hearing about it. So that was an important connection between the two of you. Is there anything, departed loved one or group one, that you would change about the connection, or that you would like to emphasize about the connection that you had? So we got the Eight of Swords, the Queen of Swords, and the Four of Pentacles. Well, your loved one is just wanting to express that they don't want you to get stuck in a place where you regret not talking more or listening more to them. This connection that may have been overlooked, that you, I think, now regret that you didn't have a closer connection with them, or that you didn't listen to their stories as much as they listened to yours. They really want you to know that they don't want you to regret that, to overthink it, to dwell upon it. They don't want you to dwell upon that. You wish that you had spent more time listening to their stories. They just very much want to emphasize, don't worry about it. It was what you experienced in your life had the same richness that they experienced in their life. And so it wasn't that you really missed out on anything if you didn't spend the time listening to their stories. Because when you would recount your stories to them, they knew that you had the same wonderful adventures that they did when they were younger. And so that was an amazing connection, even going just in that one direction. So, Spirit, is there a final message that you would like to give to group one, please? Any final message that you would like to give to your loved one in group one? Okay, group one. We got the Two of Pentacles, we got the Emperor, and we got the Justice card. They just want to tell you that the way that you're living your life is, they think it's amazing. They really want to let you know that they are so in awe of the way that you take your life by the horns and you do what you want to do, what you believe is right without hesitation. Very much what you believe is right. They see that what you do with pure intention and without hesitation, and they love your youthful exuberance. You don't overthink things. You don't worry about things. You just go for what you feel that you feel strongly about, you feel passionately about, and they love that for you. They're very proud of the way that you are living your life. So they want you to know that, and that they see that is going to carry on throughout your life and provide you good stability and good balance through your life as you move forward, because you're going to have these adventures to look back on. These and it's not just that you had the adventure, but you triumphed in these situations. You went into new unknown territory and you just lived your life and you enjoyed it and you did the things you wanted to do without hesitation. So they're very, very proud of you for doing that. And they want you to know that. So let's take a look at the card that we got ahead of time. And this card says, messengers come in different forms and are around us constantly. Yet you are asked to be aware. When always looking ahead in the future for signs and meanings in every occurrence, you can become so preoccupied that you may find you are only listening to your own internal dialogue, which can have its own agenda. There is a balance to be found in listening and respecting signs and messages and becoming obsessed with finding meaning in everything. There is wonder and magic for you, but walk gently. Do not grasp too hard, and do not give your power away to what you perceive to be guidance. It may just be your self-saboteur. So we have this card, the Eight of Cups here. Nope, sorry, not the Eight of Cups. We had the Eight of Swords. The Eight of Swords here, which is a card that talks about getting fenced in because you are too much in your head. You're trying to overanalyze everything. So this card is just talking about, you know, there are beautiful signs that come to us, and you know that because the adventures that you undertake, there's hundreds of signs that you will see. Beautiful, beautiful signs in the flowers and signs in the water, signs everywhere. But we can't get preoccupied with making every single thing into a sign of great importance and trying to analyze all of the signs, because when we do that, we're forcing things. So this message is, again, from your loved one, and they're saying that you'll know when there is something that is a sign that is a message for you. You'll feel it. You'll feel it here rather than here. So that's the message that I have for you, Group 1. I hope this was helpful, and I'm grateful to be able to connect you with this beautiful loved one. So I'll see you again soon. Thanks. Hi, Group 2. This is your reading, the Azurite and Malachite and the Blue Hummingbird. So the first message that we would like to get, Spirit, please, is who is coming through for Group 2? Who is it that is coming through for Group 2? Okay, who is coming through for Group 2, please? So we got the Prince of Swords, and we got the Fool reversed. This is someone who always thought things out clearly before they took a step. They didn't jump into things without knowing what they were getting into. They were probably very analytical. They were cautious. But once they had, and cautious isn't probably the right word, they were thorough. Once they had researched something and they knew exactly what they were getting into, if it was something that was a good investment or good endeavor, if they saw it as being a smart move, they didn't hesitate. But they didn't move until they knew what they were getting into, until they had checked on all of the facts and the angles. So that's who this person is that's coming through for you. So Spirit, how were you connected with Group 2? How were the two of you connected? Oof, sorry, too much. How were the two of you connected? I'm not sure where that card just went. That's intriguing. Oh, there it is. Sorry. So how, Spirit, how are you connected with group 2? Okay, so we got the Death card. We got the Two of Swords reversed. This is someone who came into your life not so much by choice. And by that I mean neither one of you actually made the decision to be connected. You were connected through possibly a third party. Spirit, can I have some additional clarification on the Death card, please? Why is this here? Six of Wands. Yeah, so there's someone that was connected to you, group 2, who I'm feeling like they won some sort of a prize, or they maybe bid on a contract. Like if they were in some sort of a service field where they had to bid on contracts to get work. And I'm feeling as though this individual that you were connected to, not this departed, but someone that brought you two together through like bidding on a contract, winning a bid on a contract, winning a particular contract. Somehow they had to compete with other people, and through this competition they won something, and in winning that it somehow connected them with this individual, and since you were connected with them, you came to know this individual, this departed. So that's how you were connected. Really interesting. You didn't really go looking for this person. You weren't connected by like some sort of family connection or anything like that. And you didn't choose this person yourself. You were brought together somehow by a third party who somehow competed and won and ended up connected with this person. This may have even been someone that they were pursuing for a relationship, and there was another party involved, and they ended up winning over this individual, but then somehow through that they got connected to you. So it may be that this is like maybe a sibling or a parent who won the hand or the love of someone from someone else, and so you ended up connected to them through this third party. So what, Spirit, was most important about this connection to either you or to group 2 or both? What was most important about this connection? Okay, so we got the Ace of Cups and we got the Four of Swords. Yeah, this person surprisingly ended up being like a parent figure to you, or someone who supported you like you'd never been supported before. Yeah, exactly. Look at how this individual is supported on these swords. This person came into your life and they fulfilled like a support role that you didn't even realize you didn't have, because you'd never had it before. It just wasn't the way your family or your environment operated. So you didn't know that you lacked this, whatever this connection was. And this person came in and they became this support system. And I feel like it was an emotional support to you. Like you'd never had anybody that had your back. Or you may have come from a family who was very analytical and not very emotional, not touchy-feely. But this person came in and they provided, it may not have been an outward show of love, but it was very much a support for you. And it was love, but it may not have been a very showy kind of a love, because they may have realized that that would be something that would be hard for you. So it may have been kind of an unspoken connection, that you genuinely loved each other, but it was kind of like, yeah, I don't know what that means. I don't want to get too touchy-feely. This is just weird, because you weren't used to that sort of thing. But you both knew it. You both knew that it was there, and you both were very grateful for it. You in particular were grateful that this individual came into your life and provided you this love and support that you had not had before. And it wasn't necessarily that you didn't have people in your life that were good to you. It wasn't like you necessarily had this terrible life, but it was probably just kind of, like I said, kind of analytical, sterile, sort of cold, emotionless sort of existence. And this person came in and they showed you just a compassion that you'd never felt before, a caring. They were very nurturing and caring for you, and you didn't realize how much you needed that until they showed up in your life. And that may be why this card showed up here, that you weren't looking for it, because you didn't know you didn't have it. You didn't know you were missing it. Spirit, is there anything that you would have liked to have changed or would like to emphasize about the relationship between you and group 2? What would you like to point out, or is there anything that you would have changed? Okay, so we got the 7 of Wands and we got the 6 of Swords. They feel like they left you out in the cold. They feel very much like they left you to fend for yourself. They're worried that now that they're gone, you'll go back to not having this support and this love that you really need, and they really want you to have. So what they would change is they would still be here if they could, because they really want you to have this love and support. They know how important it was to you, and they're worried that now you're out in the cold, you're left alone without them there. And so I feel like they're hoping that you will find, well, let's get from them what their final message is. Spirit, what is your final message for group 2? What else would you like them to know, please? I don't want to speak for them. We'll let them speak. I've got a lot to say. Yeah, we got the 8 of Swords reversed, so they want you to get out of your head. They don't want you to end up in this analytical place. We got the Queen of Pentacles reversed as well. So they don't want you to end up in a place that is overthinking and cold and sterile, like where they feel like you came from. We've got the Four of Wands, we've got the Hierophant, we've got the Universe, the Three of Pentacles, and the Prince of Wands. They want you to go out and find someone who's going to fulfill this place that this hole that they left behind, this deficit that they left, that they had this compassion, this love, this nurturing that they provided for you. They want you to go out and find somebody to do that for you again. They don't want you to fall back into this, I don't need anybody, I can think my way through everything, I don't want to get burned, I don't want to get hooked up with anybody, I don't want to get connected to anyone because it's too painful. They want you to go out, find somebody who's going to change your life and teach you how to love, and they want you to make it permanent. They want you, I feel like they want you to find somebody to be with for the rest of your life who's going to provide you with this sense of support and love that they provided for you. They're very worried that you're going to just fall back into this, what you're used to, what you came from, this just being overly analytical and thinking your way through everything instead of letting any feelings in. So that's their message to you. They want you to go out. We've got the Prince of Wands. They want you to take the action and find somebody. Use your heart to find somebody. The Three of Pentacles, this is someone to work with, someone that's going to teach you, someone who is going to help you to master. We got the Universe, we got the Hierophant, someone who's going to help you to master being more complete, not just in your head, but they want to help you grow the connection between your head and your heart. That's how you complete your psyche, your person, yourself, is by connecting your head and your heart. Both are equally valuable. So they want you to find someone who's going to help you to do that, because they think that you need that outside influence that they were able to provide you, but they feel like maybe they weren't there long enough for you to be able to heal that on to the point where you can keep it up. You can continue to heal your heart and connect it with your mind. So they want you to do that. They want you to, this completion card, this is often the card of marriage, but it's also the card of like making something official, complete. So, this may be a matter of teaching yourself. The Hierophant here. It could be learning on your own to engage with your heart. But the Three of Pentacles also is urging you to find someone else to help you with that. And whether that someone else is someone that you bring into your life as a love, as a partner, or if that is a teacher of some sort, whatever works for you. But they definitely don't want you to stay stuck just in your head and being only analytical and not emotional about things in your life. So that's their message to you. And let's see what the card that we drew at the beginning has to say. You flutter through life touching people with what you do and who you are. You inspire and kindle the dreams of others. Today you are reminded to be gentle with yourself, with that light touch. You can be the pragmatic, the sledgehammer, but your soul sings when you are the dreamer, the magic. So give yourself that gift also. You think time matters, but it does not. It is a human construct. You need not be the pretty shiny top that must keep spinning to gain your dreams. So it talks about you can be pragmatic, be the sledgehammer. That's the, I'm going to think things through. I'm going to make things work. I'm going to force it. But your soul sings when you're the dreamer, the magic. So that's your heart. That's from your heart. So balance those two out. Remember to balance that, and remember to honor your heart, even though it may feel odd. It might feel hard. It gets easier over time. So that's what I have for you, Group 2. I hope that this helped. I think this is a beautiful connection with this individual. It was such a light, sweet connection. It was, they weren't pushy about anything. It was really very sweet to feel. So thank you for allowing me to connect with you and your loved one. And I hope to see you again soon. Thank you. Hi, Group 3. This is your group, the Dogtooth, Calcite, and the Spider card. The first question that we will ask, the first message we'd like to get is who's coming through for you. And I'm feeling called to use this deck. This is called the Alleyman's Tarot, and it's actually a conglomeration of about a zillion different tarot cards, tarot decks. Bunch of cards, there's like one card from each deck. Some of the cards are not even true tarot cards. They're sort of random cards that are in here. And we've got the Dogtooth Calcite, which I've always thought was kind of a funny name for this. So I'm already getting the impression that whoever's coming through for you was a bit of a trickster or a bit of a jokester. So we'll see what we actually get. But with this deck, I'm never even entirely sure which is the top and which is the bottom, or which is the front and which is the back of these cards. So if you see me flipping them over and checking both sides, that's why. There are just so many random cards in here that I'm never quite sure what's what. But we will see what we can do with this deck. So Spirit, who is coming through for Group 3, please? Who is coming through for Group 3? Okay, we have got the Five of Wands, the Three of Pentacles, the Two of Wands, Knight of Cups, and the Temperance card. This is an individual who didn't like to make waves. They typically would kind of wait in the background. They were a very supportive individual, but they tended to be a little bit meek, perhaps. Very, very polite. And they weren't loud, they weren't in your face, they weren't the one who started things. This was kind of the supportive person. They were always willing to go along with whatever you wanted of them, although not in a way that they did something that went against what they believed in. But if you wanted to go. You know, it was like when you're going out to eat somewhere and everybody's like, where do you want to go? This would be the person that would say, I'm happy to go wherever you want to go. Whatever makes you happy. That's who this person was. Whatever makes you happy, I want to do that. So that's who this person was. So how was this person connected to you, Group 3? Departed, how were you connected with Group 3, please? What was the connection here? Oh my goodness, I told you this person is a jokester. The card that came out last is weird ass mystical shit. Okay. The hole, we got the hole. We got the 2 of Cups. We got the, I'm not sure who this is. This looks like the Joker. So possibly the Fool. Again, the Joker. We got the 6 of Pentacles, which is a very childlike, well, actually that's not true. Sorry, I take that back. And we got this dog. Okay. This person was your foil. I feel like perhaps you are the jokester. This person loved you very, very much. You could just do no wrong as far as this person was concerned. Yeah. I'm getting a picture of you telling bad dad jokes at a get-together and everyone else just groaning, but this person is just smiling because they just think you're cute. They just know who you are. This is the person who just, yeah, this is the person who would never judge you. Never, ever, ever judge you, no matter what you were into, no matter what ridiculousness you did, because they always knew that your heart was pure about it. You may be the type who was always getting involved or trying something crazy and new without maybe thinking things through, or you maybe just have been the life of the party all the time. I just feel like you can be, I'm hearing a bit of a clown, but this person was always faithful to you no matter what. They loved you absolutely with no reservations, and they were always faithful to you no matter how crazy your antics got. There was no place that they wouldn't follow you. There was no hole deep enough that they wouldn't go with you. The 6 of Pentacles is about equal give and take. So you two may have looked like you were sort of an odd couple to most people, but to the two of you, it was a perfect balance. It was an absolutely perfect balance. So that's how this person was connected to you. Thank you, Spirit, for that message. And what was most important in this connection? what was the most important thing about this connection? And this could be what's important to your departed loved one, group 3, or it could be what was most important to you. It's just what was the most important part of this connection. That's a few too many. What is most important about this connection, please? Okay. So again, we've got, this one actually says the Joker on it. We've got the Joker again. Crazy. We have got this. I don't know, it looks like candy to me. We've got Cupid's arrow being shot into the individual's head while this individual holds the crown. So I read this as there was the two of you were bound by the love that you shared. We've got the lone and level sands. So I feel like no matter what, you guys were going to be together. And we have got, this is the craziest bunch of cards I think I've ever seen before. I don't know what this card is. Looks like it could be the 7 of Cups. I'm going to go with that. So what was most important to this relationship, obviously, was just the variety and the joy that you guys shared. Everything was always fun in this relationship. No matter what happened, you guys were each other's ride or die. You were there for the long haul. And what was the most important about this relationship was that there was always this, there was never a dull moment. You guys were always going somewhere and doing things together. It was like you were the Lone Ranger and Tonto. You were each other's ride or die, and you were connected with the love. I mean, when that arrow goes through, she's going to be connected because she's holding on to the crown that it's going to go through, and it's going to get attached to his head. And so this love is absolutely connecting the two of you no matter what. No matter what happens. That's what was the most important with this relationship. No matter what happened, there was always the love between the two of you. No matter what. It didn't matter if it was good, if it was joking around, if it was full of sweets, if it was barren and hard times. It didn't matter. You were always connected. Everything was okay because you were together. That's what was most important about this relationship. Spirit, thank you for that message. And what, if anything, would there be anything that you would like to change or that you want to emphasize about the relationship, Spirit? Anything that you want to emphasize about it or would change about it? Wow. They want you to know that they're waiting for you. They're waiting for you, and they will always be waiting for you. On the day of your awakening, when you pass, they're waiting for you. Wow. That's an amazing message. So they want you to know that. They want you to never, ever lose hope. You're going to be together again. You're still going to be ride or die. Always. Thank you, Spirit. Sorry. Any final message, Spirit, that you'd like to give to your loved one, please? Final message. Okay. So, King of Cups, they love you. Love you, love you, love you, always will. The Sun card, you are their happiness. And the Death card, they're waiting for you when you pass. No matter when that is or how long that might take, and they aren't rushing you by any means, but, and this is the card that's on the bottom of the deck, or the top of the deck. This is the Judgment card. It's the most beautiful Judgment card I've ever seen. So they're waiting for you. They're still with you. They are waiting to reunite with you, and you will always, always, always be their happiness and their love. So that's their message to you. What a beautiful connection. So let's see what the final card that we pulled ahead of time has to say. Our dreams, ideas, and thoughts float about us, and some catch in our webs. They can transform and incubate throughout the weave of our lives, endless and eternal. It is prudent to remember, if you hold too tightly to any of these, it is not dedication or determination, but is driven instead by fear. The magic can be strangled and paralyzed when you clasp with the undercurrent of dread of never having or achieving your goals, and be aware creativity unrealized will manifest into physical and emotional pain. So, it's prudent to remember, if you hold too tightly to dreams, ideas, and thoughts that float about us, that they can become fear-driven and can cause you to be paralyzed or strangled. So stay in a place of joy. Stay in a place of optimism and hope. This card says awakening, illumination, and hope. And it looks very much like this beautiful Judgment card. So stay positive. Know that this beautiful person that was in your life is still waiting for you. And I think that's a hopeful message. So thank you for letting me participate in this reading with this beautiful individual who loves and supports you so, so, so much. I thank you for being with me and for allowing me to deliver this message to you, and I hope to see you again soon. Thank you. Bye.